I've been running, and then I had to meet a nurse for a recert, and then anyway, I got home here and it's thundering and booming and everything. But I got an email since I got here that said FedEx was going to deny the claim where the man backed into the fence and took it down. You know, the YouTube video that's a few down in my roster? Yeah. So they were going to deny the claim. So it took me like 15 attempts to get them on the phone. I got them on the phone, asked to reopen the claim. They said, well, no, we've already denied that one. I said, I want it reopened. They were like, why? And I said, because if you don't reopen it and amicably repair my fence as you're supposed to, then the piece of your truck that was left hanging on the fence, I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to get a property damage, which is going to be over the felony limit. And then you're going to get a deal with the state and they're going to pull your repair roster. And then they're going to match that to the truck that was repaired. And then you're going to pay me what I want. Just any fictitious number because of all the pain and suffering and the emotional damage and the trauma y'all put me through. And they said, oh, let's add this. And then we'll call. Can you call us back tomorrow? We're going to add this to your notes. Can you call us back tomorrow? Yes, I will call you back tomorrow. FedEx. I hate FedEx. I canceled my food delivery today because only FedEx brings it. And they didn't even bring it this week. Didn't give me a reason. So Home Chef is going to pay for next week. So I said, that's the last one I want. Cancel my subscription. I said, I don't know what is going on. I said, but y'all only hire the stupidest drivers. I said, I can drive a quad cab gooseneck rig, but they can't drive a box van. So I said, okay, I want my claim reopened. I don't know why you denied it. And they said, well, you can't prove it. Says, oh, I've got part of his truck hanging on the fence. All I've got to do is have them subpoena your repair logs and match that to the one that was repaired. So now I'm to call them back tomorrow. I'll let you know how it goes. But I'm back down here. It's storming. There are thunder storms everywhere. Tornadoes dropping. Y'all be careful. I'm watching the weather. But y'all, if y'all ever have an issue with FedEx, call me. I'll help you. Because they stupid. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Y'all watch the weather and be good. Twisted Minds and Sweet Tea. Honey, that sounds like the state of mind I'm in right now. I should be back on. Hello. I should be back on later with the Timu Hall, but I just had to update. You know, when you're retired law enforcement and people try to screw you over, it makes you mad, but you know how to fix it. So everybody cross your fingers that we don't have to call the cops and do a property damage report. I just wanted to fix the fence. But if I have to do a property damage report, there's going to be some pain and suffering in there too. FedEx. Lord, go watch the FedEx video. If you down, you'll understand. He took out 2 whole panels of a vinyl fence and then didn't even stop to tell us, just split. Sorry. Sackless driver. Oh my gosh. From the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee. I'm a retired parole officer and counselor. Used to supervise murderers. Hey, Ranjit, F off. Thank you to my mod who did that. Gypsy, you got me. Anyway, there's an update on the FedEx issue, so we'll see what happens tomorrow when I call him. Gypsy, honey, I love you. You just snuck in there and took care of him. But that's an update to the FedEx issue, so everybody cross your fingers that tomorrow goes better, because if not, gonna get in another issue with the Popo, I guess. Gonna have to file another report and let the state take after somebody for property damage over $1,000. It's stupid that people do this. And it's stupid that businesses that have this much money deny that their drivers did this when they left part of their vehicle attached to your fence. So, I mean, all they have to do is subpoena their repair roster and match that to the vehicle that was repaired. Boom, we got them. And they knew when I said that. They were like, oh, crap. Can you call us tomorrow? Yeah, I'll call you back tomorrow. Yeah, I can say really mean things in a really sweet way, and it takes them about 5 minutes to figure out what I've said, and then they have to think about it for a while. So, but now when Home Chef said that they couldn't help me at all and they wouldn't send another, I said just cancel, and they were trying to Oh no, don't cancel. Oh no, but we love you. We don't want to lose you as a customer. I said, bull crap, or you wouldn't be hiring drivers that's taking out fences. I said, you would care about who is shipping your goods. I said, no, honey. I said, I don't think y'all are up to any good. I said, just cancel my subscription. She goes, oh no. I said, listen, hush. Cancel the subscription. And I said, and when you end up in hell, roast a marshmallow for me. And she was like, oh yes, ma'am. I'm done. I'm done. But anyway, there are tornadoes dropping everywhere. There are storms everywhere. You guys that live near me, watch your butts tonight. The weather's going to be really bad. It's already like there's already been like 4 or 5 tornadoes dropping. So be very careful and keep an eye on the weather, especially up above me, Gypsy. Yeah, I've got a basement here, so I'm good. But everybody watch the weather, be careful. And tomorrow we will start our deep dive on the optogenetics. And I have my chicken outfit, and we're gonna do if it's dry and I can get down the hill, we're gonna do a chicken film, a chicken video. Because I need to do something stupid because I've had to handle way too much serious crap the last few months. So oh, and I self tanned. I may look like an Oompa Loompa tomorrow, so don't hold it against me. I was tired of being translucent. I had to. Oh, and I'm restarting for physical therapy again because I've lost lean muscle that I shouldn't have lost, and that's why I'm falling so much. So I have to go back into physical therapy. So we can be polite, but now I have moments when I'm not polite. But if I ever say there's two ways to say Lord love you or bless your heart, Lord love you. That means two things. It can mean Lord love you and bless your heart, and it can mean Lord love you, bless your heart. Is something wrong with you? I told somebody the other day he thought he was slicker than a lard bucket in the summer sun, and he was stupid as the day is long. But he thought he was slicker than a lard bucket in the summer sun. You, but we just can't get away from lawyers, can we? Well, good luck. Let me know how things go. Hi, Nat. I tanned. I did a self tanner, but it's new and I'm still kind of. But I'm going to look like an Oompa Loompa tomorrow. Just be prepared. Maybe it won't be that bad. It's looking kind of good right now. It didn't cover my tattoos or nothing up. And the legs did better than I thought. So, but now it's storming and stuff. And I come in, I was sitting on the porch cussing FedEx out. But now I'm inside and I'm just going to listen to the storms roll through. But please watch the storms. Van Delicious Van Life, you sound like a chomo. I hope you don't have a white van and you don't give away candy. Oh, Lord. But no, I'm from the Cumberland Plateau, Tennessee. Oh, Lord, yeah. Bless your heart. Lord, love you. Yeah, we say those a lot. So, anyway, that's an update on the FedEx. We will see what happens tomorrow. I'm anxious to see their response since I kind of nailed them with a felony charge that could be put on them. I'm a retired parole officer, so I have a very morbid sense of humor. Sorry. Lord love you, bless your heart. Sorry. Thank you, Annette. Appreciate it. Hey, Brooke. So anyway, that's the update. It's storming, and I'm gonna charge my phone because it might get rough here later. But tomorrow we should be back to the optogenetics deep dive. And then after that, we're going to do some funny videos because I need to do some fun stuff because I've had way too much irritating stuff in my life the last few months. So, but I tell you what, people come on here and they think they know you for 5 seconds. I've been married for 21 years, got 2 babies and 3 grandbabies. But apparently, I'm like the Cooter Patrol. I have no assumptions. They're dandies, I tell you what. Oh, I've got Boston friends. They park the car. I can't hardly talk like them, but they crack me up. And I've got New York friends that are Italian, and so they love when I send them like Christmas best wishes or happy birthday. And Noni, the grandma, I've adopted her. I send her happy birthday like big dialogues because she just loves to listen to my voice. So I'm like, hey Noni, happy birthday, love you from Tennessee. But yeah, I've got friends in Prague, Australia, London, I have a friend in Iceland, of all the places. Gosh, I've got tons of friends in Canada, especially Saskatchewan and up through there. Nipawin. If you've never heard of Nipawin, look up Nipawin. 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 Yeah, I'm kind of a. I don't know. I know Peter Freestone, so I know a lot of people in the music circuit, and he's introduced me to a lot of really good people. So I just know a lot of people all over the world. And if we had toll bridges here, I'd be like, huh, I ain't giving you a nickel. This is a road. It's meant to be drove on. Get out of my way. It's a good thing I'm retired now. I give my badge up. Ugh, I hated that thing. Well, I'll try to do a rockin' chair porch talk for you in the morning, Annette, if it's not storming. So right now, the hound dog and the Australian Shepherd are wadded up against the front door because it's storming, and they're like, they should have run to the barn, but they were like too, I guess, scared to run to the barn because it was lightning. So they're stuck up against the front door like it's storming. But I checked on my mail, got all that done, had to meet with that nurse this morning. And then from now on, they'll be down here. They just, for some reason, had my address wrong with her. And so, but I got that taken care of. And hopefully, FedEx will understand that I'm in business. Lived in court for a decade. I really don't want to go back, but if you ain't going to pay for the damage your driver did, we're going to end up there. Are you spring cleaning? I did quite a bit, but I give up. Now I just help mom down here. David's a bachelor. The house looks horrible. But I vacuumed while I was there because I couldn't stand it. He never takes his boots off. But I just got what I needed and left. Not the most ideal scenario. But oh well. Isn't it something? I mean, they just find a way to pick at you. It's horrible. You pick to death. There's even a death tax. How are you supposed to pay it when you die? It's a death tax. I'm dead. Didn't know you was taxing me for dying. But I don't know. And I was at the cemetery yesterday, and they still haven't set that woman's stone back up. And I reported that last fall. So I'm gonna have to call the cemetery and get all hateful because when we buried Granny there was a bunch of money put in the care fund. They haven't even mowed. So I'll have to go and rip another butthole, I guess. I just want to jerk a knot in about half of America's tail right now. That's just where I'm at. I'm in the don't do it mode. Don't do it. But maybe we're going to resolve this with FedEx. But they denied my claim, even though the man left half his truck here, stuck to the fence. Idiots. Idiots. I have seen smarter June bugs. Oh, laundry's never ending. I did check my seeds while I was up there, and all my seeds are coming up, but mom's are coming up way faster than mine because they've got better soil down here. Of course, they've got a butt ton of cows down here. That's why. No, they haven't even mowed the cemetery. I'm irritated, and they haven't. And there's 2 more graves that need to be filled in that have sunk. And I'm adopting everyone in the graveyard, and I'm going to go and write names and plot it on a map and say, fix these, because I know they have the money to do it. So I just, it's if you don't respect your dead, who are you going to respect? But, if anybody read about the Phoenicians, y'all really should do like a history dive on the Phoenicians. It's very interesting. Boy, a bunch of idiots on here. That is actually, I'm a retired parole officer and counselor. That is actually 0.03% of the population. And for you to assume everyone is like that shows like a huge indiscretion in your cognition. You need to probably go see somebody. You really know you need to go see somebody. It's sad that people let their stupid show just so openly. It used to be people try to hide it. Now they just throw it right out there. It's just weird. Okay, well, we've got the troll parade going. I'm going to let y'all go. I just wanted to update you. I know. Listen, they're like ticks, mites, and chiggers. You just walk through a field and they stick to you because they ain't got nothing else to do. They need a hobby. Most of them probably just need another bottle of lotion and a box of Kleenex, but that's just a whole nother story. But some of y'all need to have a hobby and a long talk with the Lord. Do y'all a whole lot of good. Well, I've got 3 that I kind of maintain and watch here. And I was just appalled that they hadn't even tried to do anything when I know the money we put in the fund when Granny passed. So it's just like, fix it. So, well, I'm glad I made y'all laugh. I'm in really kind of a, I don't know, I'm like done with it, but then I'm like, I don't really care what I say today. So I told the home chef lady who was like, well, they didn't do that. Surely they didn't do that. Yeah, they did. Stop no, we don't want to lose you. We don't. Yes, you do. We care about you. Stop lying to me. And then I told her when she hit hell wide open to roast a marshmallow for me. Because I said, you sit here and lie all day to everybody. I said, if you cared, you would get a new carrier that wouldn't bust through everybody's fences and driveways and plow through their yards. But I'm sure they get a lower contract with FedEx. But I don't know how FedEx makes it because a little birdie told me they had over 1,000, well over 1,000 claims out in just 2 routes in this area for the last 2 months. How do you do that? Can you not drive? I don't know. Maybe it's because I was taught to drive a stick shift and I was taught to drive livestock trailers and pull horses, and I don't know. Maybe I just am expecting too much from people that can't drive. Okay, we've got the Troll Brigade in here. Thank y'all for showing your little hind ends in here. All it does is let me go to your channels and see how stupid you are, so expect a nice little comment from me. I'm going to look at your life and just take it apart, just like you do to me. And then I'm going to say, well, bless their heart, Lord, love them. And then I'm going to hide you from my channel. Everybody watch the weather. Don't get blown away. And keep an eye, especially if you're in Middle Tennessee or above me in Kentucky. Keep an eye on it because it's getting nasty. And I will update you on the FedEx stuff tomorrow. We'll try to do a porch talk depending on the weather and the mud puddles. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to let my phone charge in case the electricity goes out. Y'all take care of yourself. Hard to start to say you hear. I drove tractors first. And then I drove the truck when we hauled hay because I drive the truck while everybody loaded it. And then when I got big enough to haul hay, I hauled hay. And the other smaller kid drove the truck. When Lane was 9 or 10, he was driving a stick shift pulling the wagon so we could load the hay. It's just, I don't know, maybe we're raised just a little bit more responsible down here. I don't know. Maybe we just have a little bit more gutspa in us to do hard things. I don't know. Maybe it's just that everybody's stuck in video world and they don't think that they can do damage. They're video games, they just get life points and they bounce back right back. But property doesn't do that. Definitely subscribing. Oh, well, I normally have a fun channel, but the last 2 months of my life have been hellacious because of a methamphetamine addicted hoe that owns a property on the backside of my property that just decided to try to kill me. So I'm down here as the DA. Everybody has told me to hide my butt because I stepped right in a yellow jacket nest because I know who she traffics for. And they all know I'm a retired parole officer. So I'm on the cattle farm on a private drive at the very end of a road. Somebody comes down here, I know why you're coming. So I'm just trying to be very careful right now. But it's been a hellacious couple months. But other than that, I'm really funny. I'm just stressed right now. What's your advice for freshmen in college? Tell them to leave, get their money back, and go learn a trade because college ain't nothing but a cult training facility. I have my master's in psychology. The only thing I learned was that the more you were supposed to learn, it was the more you learn how to kiss butt. And I didn't want to kiss butt. I got my degree, but then they looked at me as though I would, you should do anything we say. No, I shouldn't. And they didn't care for that. But I just college. I would probably hang off on college. I'd take a year off and learn a trade. And if you can't make a bill, make your bills on the trade you learn, then look at something else. But I think hands-on, old school working people are coming back because college, all it's done. Look at the colleges across the world right now. They're all got riots and tents and popos on them, and professors getting arrested. That's a shame. I just don't think college is a good place right now. And I was so excited to go to college, to get out of the hills and go to college. I learned far more in these hills than I did at college. I think I learned more from my grandpa's mules than I did at college. My mules taught me that they will remember things for 10 years. They will kick you when you're not looking, and you better be nice to them or they're not going to be nice to you. Honestly, I learned more from my mules than I did any of my college professors. So, and the stuff that I learned, it was because I took the time to read and study it myself, because most of the professors, half of them were drunk during the day, or they were worried about something else going on, or they were having intimate little rendezvous with their students. And it was just, I was just appalled at the things I saw. Of course, I was a country girl, very naive, going to the city, but I still picked up on what I saw, and I was like, these are the people that are supposed to be the leaders of the world, shape the minds coming up. Excuse me, we have a problem. Should be Houston, we have a problem. I think trade school is the only good thing going right now. Um, hey, listen, Ukraine had 90% of the tanneries in the world. People are going to have to learn how to start tanning. Like my husband, he tans hides. People are going to have to start learning to do that. We're going back to the old ways, people, because we figured out the government ain't here to help. And we've been putting quarters in every other country's washing machine but our own. And we're going to be left high and dry here real soon. So learn your edible plants, learn how to propagate edible plants, learn how to grow a garden, learn how to can, learn how to hot water bath, learn how to make jelly. You know, I make mullein. Learn the plants that can help you. That are nature's natural antibiotics. Do those things, because let me tell you what. Afro Man did a new song. It's called "Cause Hunter Got High." I would recommend y'all go listen to that. It might let you know just how screwed up the world is. On weed consumption, well, it depends on what state you're in and if it's legal. But I will say that it's a natural plant, and the government has a patent on it because they don't want pharmaceutical companies to look at it, because I think it probably has good properties. But I've also supervised, because I was a probation parole officer, I've also supervised people that were 24 still sitting in their dad's basement in their underwear playing Legend of Zelda because they were smoked out. So, balance. You got to have a balance. I did a warrant to send him back to prison because I had given him 6 months to get a job, and I went in to do a home visit. He was sitting in his tidy whities on his daddy's basement couch playing Legend of Zelda, and I thought, no, he wasn't even trying. He had no goals in life, and if something stops you from having goals, you probably need to walk away from it. The freshman year is the hardest year because you have to acclimate to a lot of different people and a lot of different behaviors, especially from people that are supposed to be mature and proper, you know, guiding post, for you. And you're going to learn that a lot of the professors are just old, snotty, lazy people that are doing the bare minimum, and they don't give a hoot about what they're teaching you or how the world's going to be in 10 years. They just want to pay their mortgage and have their cushy life and go on. But you really have to find the schools, the trade schools, or the professors that really care about what they're teaching and who they're teaching. And there's some out there, but Maybe you're old now. I think it has a lot of great properties because I have a neuromuscular disorder, but I live in Tennessee where everything's illegal. Everything's illegal in Tennessee. But now I've got people that have disorders like mine or very close to mine, and they have seen huge benefits from it. I'm not opposed to trying it if it ever becomes legal and they do, trials in Tennessee. I'm not opposed, but I have paradoxical reactions to lots of things, so I'm also terrified. So, but I think it has a lot of good stuff possible within it. I think that's why the government put a patent on it when they really legally couldn't. Because let's just be honest, the whole medical field just wants to create customers and consumers. They don't want to heal anyone anymore. So, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. But I mean, if you found a balance that works for you and it's keeping you from doing other stuff, you know, I'm not opposed to that. You can use marijuana in New York, but no pew pews. That shows you where the priorities are. Well, it's like during the pandemic, um, you couldn't go to church and you couldn't go to a funeral, but you could go to the liquor store and the strip club. Priorities. Just, it kind of makes you go, really? Really? You can't go wish your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, or your family member, goodbye. But you can go to the strip club and put dollar bills in the woman's G string. And all it was to pacify the people that would cause the problems. Because if people stopped some of those habits, then we would have had a really worse world than what we ended up in. But it was to pacify certain people and then to show a strong arm to other people. And all it did was tick most people off. Tell the people you can subscribe if you want to, but you don't ever have to. I have a pretty small channel of pretty good people, but I don't like to go out there and scream for subs. But isn't it something though that you can go to strip club and you go to the liquor store, but you can go to church, and you couldn't go to a funeral home, and you couldn't have a wedding with like more than 10 people. But when they cram them in them strip clubs and liquor stores, vape stores, smoke shops, I guess they call them head shops or something now. I don't know. I'm old. I'm a fuddy duddy. So I'm retired. I'm not in the know anymore. Well, I know more than I want to. Wish I could forget half of it. Oh, well, I'm glad you found me, and I hope you like me. I do a lot of country stuff, but I do a lot of crafting. I do a lot of bone work. My husband's a trapper tanner, and life's just kind of been ever since the woman shot at me, which is still on my page if you want to go down. Um, the law wouldn't come, and I knew all the law. I was like, why are you not coming and getting this woman? So I just live streamed on YouTube, and I said, you can either do your job, or I'm gonna sue you blind. They did their job, but they're doing it very poorly. So the DA has me hit out. The first year is difficult because it's a whole new world. A whole new world. Don't you hate Disney when it comes right back? And Disney's like, I don't know. You can't shake it from your brain. I worry about Disney. But yeah, it's a whole new world. You're just learning new people, new people's paths, new priorities and you're seeing people have priorities that are like, what? That's what you worry about? Like when I went to college, I got up at 5 and I fed like 400 horses at a big Pasadena farm. Went back to class. I know it smelled like horse crap, but I didn't care. I was having to pay for that, so I was going to sit there and smell like horse crap. And I was in class till like 2:30. Ate lunch, went back to the barn, and then come back from my night class. And then went home, went to bed, or studied for a little while, and went to bed. Got up at about 4 the next morning, done it all over again. But that's how I paid for my bills and paid for my schooling. And my dad was a blacksmith, so me working at a horse barn, I was the only one that could drive the front end loader, only one that could fix the manure spreader, only one that could drive the straight shift farm truck. And I was just like, these are boys. I mean, they were men. They were men. They were 21 to 24. I was 19, almost 20, and they couldn't do anything. And we had 32 stalls a day that had to be cleaned. You had to put it in your tub, pick the tub up into the middle of the barn hall, and put it in the manure spreader. I was hefting, I don't know how many pounds a day. I was scary. But those boys couldn't do nothing. They'd say, "You need to go get the stud, move him out so we can strip that stall." Well, I'm scared to deal with it. And I just go right in and get that horse and lead him out. I was like, he strikes out at you because you're scared of him. Horses pick up on that. But I worked there for a long time, and then when I left, I thought one of the rodeo girls would be that she ran rodeo at the college. I thought, well, she'll be good to replace me. She was scared of the horses. She was a rodeo girl. I don't know. Anyway, that's how I paid for my schooling. And then I got married, had 2 kids, got divorced. Was ready for all men to fall off the face of the earth. And then ran smack dab into my husband. He adopted my children. And we've been married for almost 22 years now. But the last 2.5 months, with this methamphetamine crazy woman, he doesn't want to lose the land or the home. I don't care about the land or the home. I just don't want to get shot. She's going through enough ammunition a week. She must be whoring herself out because I can't afford it. And when she switched from a pistol, which drops off real quick, I wasn't really worried about the pistol. But when she switched from a pistol to a long barrel 22, I was like, okay. And then she yelled at me, "I've about effing had it with you." I had mastoiditis. I was very sick. I'm not ever outside of my house because I'm on polio crutches. So I was just like, her paranoia is a bit much. And then she was saying that I was stealing her trees with the green men. And I was like, classic methamphetamine issue. But they didn't want to arrest her. So I had to live stream her shooting before they would come out and actually arrest her. And she was shooting at me in my home. I was ducking bullets, buddy. But police academy, they had the firing ranges going all the time at the police academy. So I'm pretty good with guns. So I would count. When she needed a reloader clip, I'd move my phone so that they could see what was going on. Yeah, it's very sad because she's crazy out of her mind and lethal, but they don't care about her. You know, they're just like, oh, let her do her life, let her live her life. You, however, need to leave your home, stay safe, up in your entire existence, almost ruin your marriage. I'm like, you could have just put her in jail. Well, we don't wait. Well, you don't want to pay for her health issues. Oh, you mean you don't want to pay for when she dies from the methamphetamine withdrawal? You're just going to let her out so she can take little doses to keep herself going so she can make it to court. But her lawyer, her public defender, took her outside and had one conversation with her. And I know the public defender. I've worked with him for like 6 or 7 years. He came in with his eyes like this, looked at the prosecuting attorney, the DA's table, like, and then walked up and said, "Your Honor, sir, Your Honor, I would recommend a mental health evaluation on my client." And I was like, yep. So, rough couple of months. I would really like to get back to my fun videos and crafting. Oh, I'm not unarmed. I'm never unarmed. I still have murderers coming out of prison. I'm always armed. And Tennessee's an open carry state, but they give retired law enforcement a little bit more leniency. But it's an open carry state, so I can have a gun wherever I want to go. Well, except for government and schools, stuff like that. Well, this woman has made it to the grand old age of 61, even though her husband passed away from methamphetamine overdose and polysubstance abuse. Let's just be honest. And it's just like, did you not learn anything from that woman? Did just, and that's been like 10, 12 years ago. And she's around in like 61, 62 now. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I believe the brain damage that has been done over the last 4 decades of polysubstance abuse is irreversible, and she's fricasseed. I don't believe they're like most people. I'd be like, let's get them some help because that was my whole life. Let's get people help. Let's make them productive members of society. I just don't think there's any help for her. I think she has damaged her brain so bad that it's not going to repair. It's like huffing. When you huff, the brain cells that you kill, you never get them back. They can't grow back. So people that huff, that's why they're stupid as the day is long. They lose brain cells every time they huff, and they can't grow them back. Nothing ever repairs itself when you huff. It's that dangerous. And methamphetamine chronic use messes up the microglial in the brain, which starts, instead of checking bad neurons, starts checking all neurons. And so then your neurosynaptic, you know, instead of being miles long in your brain, it's about and so her cognition is very, very, very low. And I know I sounded really smart right then. I have my master's in psychology. I just twang. But yeah, huffing does cause, yeah, well, it kills. And when you get into certain parts of the brain, and they won't be able to smell, they won't be able to see, they won't be able to taste. They ruin a lot of their brain. And they'd come in with spray paint all the way, and I'd be like, "What you been doing today?" "Oh, nothing, really." So I should consider comedy. Sadly, this is just my life right now. But she yells across the holler when she's shooting, "You're stealing my trees with the little green men!" And I'm like, "Honey, I'm on polio crutches. I can't run a Husqvarna. I wish I could, but I can't." I mean, it's just a physical impossibility. So, but maybe they'll figure out who these little green men are. But I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, it's just it's just a classic meth addiction. Just the paranoia." And even the dispatch even told me that she calls up there all the time saying there's men in her floorboards that's going to come up and steal her hair at night. And I said, "Well, why didn't you do anything?" "Well, she just calls a few times a week." "Well, why don't you charge her for misuse of the 911 system? It might have rung her bell a little bit before she started shooting at me. You might have saved me." But what really worries me is there are 4 kids that live across the road from her. And there's a pregnant woman down the road, and she's been on all their properties with a weapon and scared them. They're too scared to write a statement. And I'm like, she's already shooting at you. What else is she going to do? Write the statement, but they wouldn't. And I feel really bad because the elderly couple that lived across the road from her died during all of this. Like the man died like 4 months ago. The little woman died 2 weeks ago. So all they heard the last year of their life was this crazy heifer shooting her gun and like pulling some Magnum PI stuff under her motion sensor floodlight. And I was like, seriously. I feel so bad that that's what those people probably heard the last year of their life. But I mean, I heard it too. It was driving me nuts. My doctor, I had mastoiditis, and he was like, "This may kill you." And I was like, "I know, it's bad." I had 2 black eyes from it. And he said, "You need to go home and rest." And I said, "I can't because the meth head lady behind me won't stop shooting." And I said, "I can't keep up with a meth head because I don't take meth." So I was very sick. And I had to basically move. Well, my mom had brought me home from the ER one night and got hemmed in for 2 hours with her shooting. And that just ticked me plumb off. And so the next night, I just live streamed her stupidity because that was accountability. YouTube's great for accountability if used appropriately. And then I had put a kink in the distribution in the area, so I was told to hide myself. I did. But they don't want to put her in jail because they don't want to pay for medical issues. Basically, they don't be responsible when she dies because she's been on drugs for so long. If she's in there for more than a week, she probably will. But I mean, stupid is as stupid does. Oh, I was psychology. I have my master's in psychology. You know what I learned about psychology? It can do wonderful things, but they use it to harness it to do really horrible things. So I basically hate what I learned. I help people with it, but the government and they did not create psychology to help people. They created psychology to control people. And you could help so many people with it, but they don't want to use it that way. It's the way the world works. Crooked people go longer. I mean, they go farther in life, make more money, and the good people just get left behind trying to survive. And it's sad, but I tell you what, when the world falls, it'll be the good old boys keeping it going. Yeah, I supervised murders for the state of Tennessee. I was a parole officer. I did interstate compacts, and I supervised sex offenders as well. Lovely job. I compartmentalize really well, so I don't think about it a lot. Since I'm retired now, I'm like, I don't think about it a lot. I had a neuromuscular disorder, like MS present, and as soon as I was diagnosed, even though I'd been there forever, and most people were supposed to have like 68 to 108 offenders was like the max. I had 547 for 4 months. That's how good of an officer I was. But as soon as I was diagnosed, they wanted me out. They were like, "You're a liability now. You deal with the violent men." Well, not found a situation I can't talk myself out of yet. I mean, I had one guy tell me he was going to kill me. He said, "If you keep coming to my house," of course I had to do home checks. "You keep coming to my house, you're not going to make it down this hill one day." And I looked at him and I kind of grinned. He said, "What you thinking?" I said, "I can't even get you to do 22 hours of community service work and you're going to dig a hole this big? Go for it, honey. I will applaud you from the other side." And he kind of laughed and said, "Yeah, I'm a little bit lazy." And I said, "Yeah, just a little bit." And I did the home visit and went on home. Now, my supervisor went with me one time and he was terrified of that man. And he was just hill folk. They don't talk nice. They harp on you. But that's just hill folk if you know them. So I just sassed him right back and went on about my business. Honey, I don't even play Fortnite. The only thing I know is that funny dance that those kids did for a while. I am 46 years old. I have 2 kids and 3 grandbabies. I don't play video games. Leela Shakespeare. Howdy do. I like your name. Okay, I've been on here way longer than I thought, and the storms are still rumbling. I'm going to check and see where that tornado was. It was blowing out of Smithville toward Cookville, and doesn't look like it's going to bother me or nothing, but I was worried about it because Cookville got hit a few years ago by a big one, and it killed like 30-something people. So I'm going to check the weather and check in, but I will be back tomorrow. We'll deep dive into optogenetics, even though it's going to make my brain hurt. And I'm going to watch Sabrina's channel and see what she's talking about. If you've never understood what's wrong with the world, or you have a curiosity about what's wrong with the world, you can go to the Odyssey platform and look up the Synergy channel, Psinergy. And you will learn more in 12 minutes than you have learned in 50 years if you've been on the earth that long. It's just amazing. She's amazing. I don't even know how to say your name. But hello. Well, good for you. I just don't trust crypto. But good for you. I want people to do good with their lives and do good things and enjoy their lives. And maybe if I get through all this court crap with this stupid, crazy, meth fueled neighbor, maybe things will calm back down for me. Are not old for this. Well, I know it depends on the subject matter you talk about. So I would think if you're learning something and you're educating people, you're never too old. Unless you don't want to learn. Did you ride the short bus? Were you trying to tell me something like cryptically right then? Are you okay? Do you need a hug? Oh, Lord. Okay, I am heading to watch the storms. Y'all take care of yourself. Keep your heads up. Thank you, Carlo. I thought about that too. It really only hurts if you spell it correctly. Y'all have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Watch the weather. Keep your eyes to the sky and your butt under the ground. Well, if I'd give you one if I could. Okay, here you go. There you go. There you go. I even patted you on your back. There you go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make lemonade, absolutely. Bye, guys. Y'all have a good evening.